You are listening to Housekeepers Chat by the United States Department of Agriculture from 1927. Disclaimer: this is read from a historic archive document. Do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices. This broadcast was aired on Monday, the 11th of April of 1927.
How to destroy obnoxious bird pests, what to wear for summer afternoons, and a dinner menu today. 2 recipes from the United States Bureau of Home Economics.
Do you remember the talk I made last week about songbirds and how to attract them to shady streets and lawns? A gentleman in Kansas, who happened to hear my talk, writes me the following letter. Dear Aunt Sammy, I am heartily in favor of attracting beautiful songbirds, building homes for them, and protecting them from cats and other enemies. But since this is not Be Kind to Animals Week, I wish to say something unkind about the house sparrow, commonly called the English sparrow. It happens that my bedroom is close to the eaves of the house. Early every morning I am awakened by quarreling sparrows, airing their family troubles in the waterspout. Sometimes they hold conventions just outside my window. Their excited bickering gets on my nerves. Not only do they disturb my early slumbers, but they destroy the fruits in my small orchard. They ruin my cherries, my pears, my grapes, and my peaches. If I try to have the earliest garden in the neighborhood, the sparrows eat the peas and lettuce as fast as they come up. They build their ugly nests in my ornamental shrubs and in crevices of the house. They drive away the orioles, the robins, and the mockingbirds. Now, Aunt Sammy, please don't think I am a fussy man. But I have lost my temper and my wife's affection. I have broken 2 alarm clocks by hurling them at sparrow congregations, and I have been sadly misunderstood by an old friend who happened to be in the way one dark and frosty night when I turned the hose on a colony of sparrows. If you can tell me how to exterminate these pests, I shall be very much obliged. That, in short, is the case against the English sparrow, which has neither beauty of feathers nor sweetness of song, to save it from a verdict of guilty. The gentleman from Kansas is probably expressing the sentiments of hundreds of other irate householders in all parts of the United States who would like to rid their premises of this bird, which defiles private and public property, drives away useful native birds, destroys fruit, grain, and early gardens, and fills the air with its noisy chatter. The English sparrow among birds is like the rat among animals, cunning, destructive, and filthy. Though the English sparrow is valuable once in a while as a destroyer of noxious insects, all things considered, it does far more harm than good. According to authorities in the United States Department of Agriculture, the most effective method of preventing the increase of sparrows in a locality is to destroy their nests every 10 or 12 days during the breeding season. This was tried in a town of 4,000 inhabitants, and within 4 years 20,000 eggs were destroyed. There are several good methods of destroying the birds themselves: thus out, shooting, trapping, and poisoning. I am sending you a bulletin called The English Sparrow as a Pest, which gives various methods of extermination. The use of traps is strongly recommended, and there are explicit directions with diagrams for making several kinds of traps. The bulletin is free. Do you know that English sparrows are good to eat? They can be cooked by any of the methods used for quail. Then boned, broiled, buttered, and served on toast, they are said to be very good and to compare favorably with the best kinds of small game. You see what a creature of habit I am. No matter where I begin, I lead the talk right around to the kitchen and cooking. And there's one more question I must answer before I plan a dinner. The question is this: is Organdy going to be worn this summer? It is. Organdy has been made this spring in 45-inch widths, white, colored, and printed in floral designs. The best qualities are finished to retain their crispness. The favored colors are pink, peach, orchid, Nile green, blue, and maize. Organdy is excellent for afternoons and summer evenings. Some of the prettiest dresses are made in the fashion which the French call robe de style, tight bodices, and full skirts. The organdy may be combined with net or with organdy of a contrasting color. Ruffles are not so good as inserted bands of color, for which the person who does the ironing will be thankful. I saw 2 beautiful organdy frocks last week, made with full skirts in different shades. That is, the skirt was made of 3 colors, the top section being narrower than the bottom section, so that there was a graduation in both color and spacing. In one skirt, the top section was white, the center one pink, and the lower one rose. The other skirt had a color combination of orchid, lavender, and purple. You can imagine how crisp and dainty they were. One of the newest style notes is the frock of tissue gingham with organdy as trimming. This should be good news for the sweet girl graduates of several years ago. If they have kept their graduating dresses and want to use them as trimming, this is the season to do it. And here's another fashion note. Organdy is charming over slips made of baronet satin or over rayon fabrics. Much depends upon the fit of the slip, however. It must be very neatly made, for organdy is a most revealing fabric. Now just 1 minute before you write down the menu. Here's a letter from a lady in Brooklyn, New York. Dear Aunt Sammy, I could not resist writing to you about the baked beans. I am certainly grateful for the recipe you broadcast. I wanted so much to know how beans were baked, but as they are such a simple dish to prepare, I was ashamed to ask. I am glad this listener liked the recipe, but I wish she had asked me for it sooner. Please do not hesitate to ask me simple questions. Perhaps they aren't so simple after all. I am sure that preparing a perfect dish of baked beans is far from simple operation. In planning the programs, I am guided by your letters and questions, so ask me the questions you are most interested in. Pencils now, please, for the dinner menu. Veal timbales, 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 fried apples and carrots, buttered cabbage, and rhubarb tarts. The recipe for veal timbales calls for 1 pound of veal, but if you do not have veal, you may use chicken or lamb or any other leftover meat. You will need your custard cups or your timbale molds for this meat concoction, for it is to be baked in molds set in a pan of hot water. If you like to try new ways of cooking and have not made veal timbales, I am sure you will be pleased with it. Pencils again now for the veal timbales. 9 ingredients. 1 pound veal, 2 eggs, ½ teaspoon salt, onion juice, 1 cup milk or meat broth, 1 teaspoon finely chopped parsley, 2 tablespoons flour, 2 tablespoons butter, lemon juice to taste. Count the ingredients. There should be 9 1-pound veal, 2 eggs, ½ teaspoon salt, onion juice, 1 cup milk or meat broth, 1 teaspoon finely chopped parsley, 2 tablespoons flour, 2 tablespoons butter, lemon juice to taste. Simmer the veal in a small amount of water until tender. Then put it through the meat grinder using the fine knife. Prepare a cream sauce of the butter, flour, and the liquid. Add to this the well-beaten eggs, the seasonings, and the meat. Mix well. Grease custard cups and pour in the mixture. Bake for 1/2 hour in a pan surrounded by water. Turn the timbales out and serve hot. I am suggesting fried apples and carrots because they will be good with the veal, and because we want to use up the carrots and the apples at this time of the year before the new vegetables are abundant. The recipe for fried apples and carrots is in the radio cookbook, but since some of you do not have a cookbook yet, I shall read the recipe very slowly. Select 6 medium-sized carrots and 6 tart apples. Scrape the carrots and cut them lengthwise into thin slices. Pare the apples or leave the peelings on, whichever you prefer. Core the apples and cut them into slices about 1/4 of an inch thick. Fry the apples and the carrots in fat, preferably in a large iron pan or skillet. Place them in single layers and cover the pan tightly. Cook till well browned on one side, then turn. Sprinkle with a little salt and sugar. Serve on a hot platter. First a layer of carrots, then a layer of apples, so the two can be served together. That concludes the recipes for today. The menu, again, veal timbales, fried apples and carrots, buttered cabbage, and rhubarb tarts.
This broadcast was researched and produced by Breakaway Empire LLC.